So the last few episodes, we've gone down this direction of making sure we put the business first, really looking at achieving outcomes that are relevant for the business and not just indulging our cyber fetish, kind of communication, engagement of departments, little tricks and stuff for that. Now I want to take things back a little bit to the more pragmatic security side. I eventually want to get to a point where like this is what I would do in an organization when first setting foot in there. But I want to drill in some more concepts that I think is really important to keep in back of mind. One of them you could call the fish tank principle, which I mentioned before. It's basically it's about dependencies, basically. If you think of buy a pane of glass, 1 meter long, it arrives, it's 99 centimeters, want to make a coffee table, put some bolts on it, it's perfectly functional as a coffee table. I can put stuff on it, and the vast majority of the time, unless I need that extra 1% from 99 to 100%, it is fully functional and nothing goes wrong. If I need that same pane of glass to be the bottom of my fish tank, everything goes wrong. And that just goes to show how important it is to be really holistic, really consistent. And that applies at many, many levels. It applies at the organizational level. If you don't know what other departments are doing, what are the chances that you're going to be aware of what processes or systems or data that they have that could put you at risk? But it also applies very heavily at a technical level. And unfortunately, this is something that most people seem to ignore. And it's this weird separation often. It's what I want to focus on today. This weird separation between IT and security. And as a CISO, I have spent far more money buying IT management tools than security tools. And this often annoyed CIOs and heads of IT operations and stuff because, we have asset management, we have configuration management, we have patching. You have something that ticks the box, that you can say you have something, but your first run, your patching rate is 85%. You can't tell me, or you're not aware of 10 to 15% of our assets. Your configuration management is not real time, or it's very slow. Other platforms are available, but I typically go and implement Tanium in just about every organization. There's been some cases where it's not the ideal solution. It's really very cloud-based environments, but I'm sure they're working on that. But in most kind of on-premise organizations, it was just a vastly superior tool. And we are now seeing 99.999% of our assets, and I am able to control all of them in almost real time and have almost real-time visibility, and my patch deployment rate and my change deployment rate is incredibly quick. It's minutes instead of, and it's really, really as close to 100% as you can get. And having that at 99.999 versus 85 or even 98, from 98 to 99.9 isn't like a 2% improvement. It's a 2,000% improvement. Is that even true? Is it? Anyway, it's exponentially higher. It's not about how much you've covered. Forget about that. It's the size of what's left. You've gone from 2% to 0.1%. That's the area where you can have configuration drift, unknown assets, out-of-date operating systems, unpatched vulnerabilities. That's where stuff is going to get in. And so I think it's really, really important. So this is the first part of that kind of technical deficiency in terms of coverage that I want to mention. It's so important to focus on this, because if you don't do that, even if it's 1% of your environment that you're not aware of, or that's not being updated, or that you don't have control over, or you don't have visibility over, that is significantly more likely to be the 1% of your organization that gets you in trouble. And not knowing about it is just a recipe for disaster. So it's really, really important, first and foremost, to make sure that you have the visibility, the control, the coverage of your environment. And that is typically an IT function. But if you don't take care of it, you're basically already screwed security-wise, because you will never, ever be able to manage the amount of issues stemming from that. So I'm going to end this video short and sweet, and I'm going to go to another sort of dependency issue in the next one.